that ass spin.
To own a polygraph.
Oh, can we hook Dark Side Phil up to it, Steve? Can you administer it?
We can if we have him here in person, or I go to him in person.
We got it. We're all going. We're all going to Seattle, and we are hooking fucking Phil up to the. Yeah. Listen, we are going to raise $100,000 to put Phil on the lie detector.
I'll do it if you guys really want me to do it.
I'm starting the give, send, go to put Phil on the lie detector.
I built sort of an in-person set to do interviews with people in person, because I started noticing, you ever notice this, guys? Like podcasts where the guest is right in the same room do 10 or 100 times better numbers for some reason.
Yes.
I don't know why that is. So I built a little set in order to interview people. And then I thought, well, who am I going to interview? I'll interview experiencers. But the problem with experiencers, people who say like, oh, I see angels and demons, or I got abducted by aliens. And I'm like, how am I going to make content about that? Because it's just somebody telling a story and it doesn't really fit my brand if I'm not skeptical. But then I thought, what if after, I give them the interview and I let them tell their story, then I hook them up to a polygraph right there. And then I do the polygraph and I tell the audience the results. And so far, I've had 4 people agree to do it and then cancel. But I do have one person that has still agreed. So we're going to be doing that soon.
Okay. Cool.
And Jonah Hex and Justin have both gifted a sub. Let's go. Let's get a sub train. Everybody send one sub right now. Let's get a sub train going. But I really think, guys, it's brilliant. If we get Steve to polygraph Phil, it's going to be one of the biggest events in internet history.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to go to Phil's house in Renton. We're going to have to go to his door. And we're gonna surprise him. Hey, we're here to do the polygraph.
But here's what's gonna happen.
Do it.
You're gonna ask him. Or you're gonna ask him, "Oh, were you playing WWE champions last night?" He'll say no. The machine will blow the fuck up.
He'll start smoking
like a little nuke.
Did you spend more than $100,000 on the game? He goes, no.
It's gonna burn fucking Phil.
Smokes. Yes. You know what's interesting is
for 2 subs.
Casino for 5 subs.
Let's
and Exo POS for a sub. And you know what I've decided, guys? We're gonna do some Phil A logging after this as well. Jeez. We're gonna fire up a classic Phil where he tells us about one of the worst days of his life. How he was forced to sit in his hot office all day under the sweltering Seattle heat. Oh, yes. We got Nyla Moon for 5 subs. And Subby 1v3 for a sub.
Nyla.
Listen,
Thank you,
we might find some. If somebody has a Phil request
I gotta piss
of us roasting Phil, you gotta let me know what you want to see, because honestly, I just want to roast the shit out of Phil today.
I was so surprised because the funniest thing that happened, and your audience should know this. The last time I come on your show, I didn't know that you started a show with that guy, so I started shitting all over him. And to his credit, Worski's like, chill. He was trying to shut me up, but then you started shitting on him. And that got clipped all over YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm trying to help you out here because we want, Steve is trying to get an interview with Phil. But Phil is ducking him. He's making
he kind of said he would do it, but he keeps pushing it back another week.
If you don't force Phil to do it, it's never going to fucking happen. So we're going to force Phil to be interviewed by Steve. And then the follow-up will be the polygraph interview, where we ask the same questions, this time him hooked up to the fucking polygraph. And we're going to get answers out of this motherfucker. We're going to find out the truth. So guess what, Steve? Today, Phil told me that it takes him 4 hours to go grocery shopping, Steve.
That's
this
ridiculous.
Is what he told me. He told me It
That's
takes him
ridiculous.
40 minutes alone to write the list. The
I
shopping
think
list
that's
for
kind of ridiculous.
groceries.
I don't know. I do it. I write the list in 5 minutes, and I might spend 20, 25 minutes if I'm really buying a lot of shit.
It takes an hour and a half to put away the groceries, Steve.
Oh, well, I can't really speak on this too much because my wife doesn't like me shopping because I don't do coupons and deals and shit, like sales. I don't care. I just run through like a man and grab everything, and then pay whatever it is. I don't care.
Yeah.
I got shit to do. So
I know.
generally she does it because she's like, oh, like a lot of women are like this. They're just more methodical. She's like, oh, roast beef is on sale. She'll go to 7 supermarkets to get the deals. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it.
Brother Phil has a wife, and it still takes him an hour and a half to put away the fucking groceries, Steve. He tells me he only goes out one day of the week, Steve. One day of the week he goes outside. The other 6 days he stays inside. He says he has no family. He has no friends. He told me he had a few acquaintances. Which it's like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of sad, though.
It was the tale of Phil, the lonely, isolated man. But you know what? We're rebuilding Phil. We're getting Phil excited to go out and challenge the world again.
You're quickening him for another era. That's what
we're really trying. We're really trying,
Well, I don't even like wrestling, but I watched a couple of those wrestling streams you did.
Yes, I did. Shit. Steve, you should become the third chair. You start watching Raw, we'll get you on as the third chair.
Here's proof that I did watch it. In one of those episodes, you were talking about there's no in between. People either love it or hate it. I'm kind of in between. I respect it as an art form, but I don't want to waste time on it. When I was a kid, I thought that shit was real. And right when they made that, and WWF made that announcement, that it was fake and staged, and I never watched it again.
I felt my title belt, Steve?
Oh,
do you like my title belt, Steve?
Oh, it's pretty gay.
It says PPP right on it, Steve. It was only $500, Steve.
You wasted $500 on that?
Oh, Steve, it's not a waste at all. It makes me feel like the champ.
I can't ever watch a wrestling promo or whatever and take it even kind of seriously. I'm just like, oh god, it's great.
Listen, I'm gonna force.
No, I gotta be. I have
to be the third host of the wrestling show, and Steve's gonna lose this fucking.
I don't like wrestling, so I'd be a terrible host. I'd be like, this is gay. This is stupid.
Where you go, it's gay, and you shit all over it, and then Phil's gonna try and argue that it's not gay.
I'll do it if you want me to, but I'd be terrible at
this. But it's not I don't know. Anyway.
No, the one thing I will say is that I have certain respect for some of these guys because my brother-in-law was like a jobber, and he was that guy that they would hit in the head with a chair and bleed. He would get really hurt.
It's like stunt work, right? It's like stunt work.
But he would do anything that they did. You want to throw him onto the sidewalk, he'll do it. So. And then later, he did these local wrestling, which are kind of sad. You go to these local wrestling shows, there's only 100 people there.
Yeah.
But I learned a new kind of respect for those guys because people loved it. People loved it. I thought it was kind of lame.
My
kids thought their uncle was God, though. My uncle's in the wrestling ring. This is awesome.
The wrestling show's not really about wrestling. It's about fucking with Phil. Steve.
Well, then I'm in.
Yeah, exactly. So just say you're gonna do the wrestling show. You fucking we're gonna get you on. You should have said you were big. I just don't get it. People are like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh fuck, buddy! You're a $250,000 man for 5 subs.
5 subs, very generous.
The newest Phil grift, Steve, is that he's showing his feet for money now.
Has he got OnlyFans for feet fetish?
No,
people?
He's trying to he's got a dedicated foot cam on his stream, and if he gets $75, he'll show his feet. I confronted him about this today. I'm like, how low is this gonna go, Phil? What? This is depraved.
Yeah, you gonna show your ball sack for 150 or what? Where's the bottom?
He starts modeling socks on the wrestling show, Steve. He's got 18 different pair of fucking socks, and they have like bamboo and shit, and like Malay or something cotton, and like one sock is labeled right and one is labeled left, Steve.
No,
and
that's
this
pretty
is
stupid.
This is Steve. This is the shit that's. I'm like, what do I do with this guy, Steven? What do we do with this guy?
Oh no, man! I don't know.
Does he gotta go to the fucking asylum or what?
I'm very uninterested in wrestling, though. Like, I think it would be kind of like shitty if I had to sit through even an hour of wrestling. I don't think I could. Maybe I could watch it with my son. He likes that shit, but he's 8. You know, no offense to you and this other grown man doing a show about 8-year-old entertainment.
$500 on a title belt with your name on it, Steve?
My son would be very impressed by that, but he's 8, okay?
It's shiny.
Wait till he's 10, and then he's gonna fucking spit on it.
It's like 9 pounds there. All right,
we could kind of go. This is we made our point with this latest video.
Okay,
is that this guy has made conflicting statements, and okay. So what we also need to know is that the two people most responsible for selling the Bob Lazar grift is George Knapp, of course, the originator of the story, and then